What's up, guys? This is Wreck Dreams. So wanted to first start off any story that I ever come across or that I ever tell. I never encourage anybody to do drugs or anything that I talk about in my videos. Also, uh, if you do end up figuring out who someone is in a story, just if you know them or whatever, I don't ever encourage any harassment of anybody I talk about. But just getting started. Um, the story I have for you today is about this kid who used to lie about a lot of things. It's a couple different stories that I have, and I'm just going to tell pretty much the history of this kid and what I know about him. So, we're going to call him B. And what you first need to understand is I was friends with a friend group who really weren't that great for me. I split off from them a couple years ago, which was for the best for me. But when I would hang out with these people, basically for your birthday, they would throw hotel parties. I still had to pay for my own hotel room, of course, but and that was one reason why I stopped being friends with them because they just made me pay for everything because a lot of them were, for lack of a better word, kind of bums. I don't like to say that, but they weren't really doing much with their lives. I'll put it that way. So, anyways, B showed up to one of these hotel parties. I'd never met him before. I did not know him whatsoever, and I had been introduced to him by the girl who helped me book the reservation. Her name, we'll call her C. And there was another girl there who, because at the time I was going through a breakup, but there was a cute girl there that I was kind of interested in. We'll call her J. And I was hanging out with J, and C had gone somewhere else. I think she had left to like go get something from her car, or go like smoke weed. I don't really remember, but and B walks in, and he starts like I think I was just like asking him his advice on something because he just happened to walk in, and I think I was a little drunk, and I think I was coked out too, to be honest. But anyways, so he comes in and he's like listening to me, or he hears me ask him for advice, and he's like, I think it was about my breakup actually, and it was like me trying to process and get past it, if you will, and because that's what I did a couple years ago, which was really stupid. Um, Not the processing part, just asking other people for uh, certain pieces of advice when I don't fucking know them. Anyways, um, he listened to what I had to say, and then he was like, "Yeah, like oh, I came back from active duty, and I was served with divorce papers, and then the girlfriend that I dated afterwards, um, she was like, she would hit me and beat me, and I wouldn't hit her back because I don't believe in hitting women, and like, she was beating me up with the chains of my car or my truck or something, and I wouldn't hit her, and I just like stopped and was like, I stopped him and was like, dude, you didn't hit her, what are you talking about? Like, if someone's trying to beat me with chains, I'm gonna hit you to get away from you. Just me. So anyways, so then he goes on to say that, and he didn't really listen to me and just said, yeah, I just don't hit women, sorry. And then eventually he leaves. I don't remember the further conversation, but he leaves and C walks in, and I'm like, and I think I'm sitting there with Jay. So shit. So he's sitting there with C walks in, and I'm like, yeah, like B just left. He was talking about like his like how he was in active duty, how he got divorced and like all this other stuff. And she like looks at me weirdly and is like, he was never in the military. I was like, what are you talking about? And she's like, he wasn't in the military. And I'm like, but he said he was. And she's like, yeah, like he tells people that. I don't know why he does that, but like he was not ever in the military. And I was like, well, how do you know? And she's like, because like other people who were in the military like looked at his uniform and said that he was not in the military. And he actually, when they told him that his uniform was fake, he actually like said, he admitted that he wasn't in fact in the military. And I'm like, oh, okay, like, all right, well, was he at least married? And she's like, no, 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 he was actually never married. And I'm like, what the, okay. So like, she tells me though, she's like, yeah, but like he did propose to a girl once, and it was like at an Olive Garden, and she said no. I felt really bad for him. I'm like, oh, okay. And then she told me that like he also like one time lied about cancer, apparently like because C had cancer at one point, verifiably, and when she was like a kid, and she survived it. But B had claimed that he had cancer, and she, I guess, like, he said things that were inconsistent, and she asked him for proof, or I don't remember exactly how the story came about of why she ended up asking for proof, but he showed her a medical document for someone else, for like a 37, this guy was like 24, and he showed her a medical record for like a 37-year-old man. So she was super confused, and was just like, bro, this isn't your like medical records. And he was just like, but yeah, yes it is. And she's like, no, it isn't. And then just like, he ended up admitting that too, that he was in fact not somebody who had cancer. But anyways, okay, so then this other story, I was hanging out with Jay and one of her other friends, and she invited B over. She invited B and C over and a couple other people. And B shows up. So it's just me, J, B, and we'll call this other girl E. And C was on her way. And B chooses to bring alcohol into my apartment, because I was in my apartment, throws his keys at me and says, well, I'm going to be drinking, so I guess I'm staying here. And I just like look at him, and I don't know, something about it just made me feel angry or annoyed. I guess it was just like, it was the way that he threw his keys at me. It was like as if I'm his like bitch or something. So I just like looked back at him and I was like, dude, you're not staying here. And he's like, why? And I'm like, because you lied about being a veteran. And he's like, no, I didn't. And I'm like, dude, just come clean. Like, other people have told me you aren't in the military. And he's like, okay, but like he like screams at me like, okay, but there's like worse things to lie about. And I'm like, yeah, like cancer, but you lied about that too. And then he just like, I told him to leave, and he leaves. He fucking drives off. He gets in his car, drinks, and then drives off, which already I already didn't like the dude because he was lying about being in the military and lying about cancer. But then he had another one of my pet peeves: drinking and driving. And I don't care who you are. It's just my personal life philosophy. Like, I just personally think if you drink and drive, I have no interest in being friends with you. If one of my friends ever gets a DUI, they're no longer my friend. And that might seem rough and things like, and whatever, but there's so many options: Uber, Lyft, leaving your car at the bar, whatever it might be, calling a friend, fucking whatever, getting a ride from some Colombian drug dealer off of fucking Craigslist. Like, there's millions of ways to get home, but that's beside the point. So anyways, so then C comes over and she's like, where'd B go? And I'm like, I told him to leave because he threw his keys at me and told me that he was staying over, and then was just a dick about it. She's like, oh, okay. Damn. Oh, okay. And then I'm like, so like, what else should I know about this kid? Just out of curiosity, you told me he lied about being married. He lied about, being in the military. He lied about cancer. What else could this kid have possibly done? And then she tells me, oh yeah, like he was on probation, and I was like, why? And she was like, well, like there was like a road rage incident where he was with another kid, and I guess this car next to them wasn't going fast enough, and he pulled out his airsoft rifle, which looked like a real gun, pointed it at them, and apparently she had kids in the car. I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ, what the fuck is wrong with this kid? And turns out he did this, and he got probation for it. He served it. But there's also a TikTok video that was released about him. I don't know who created it necessarily, but it basically just like details a ton of the shit that he's done, like the probation, and then I forget what, like him lying about being in the military. But anyways, that's kind of my story for today. Just wanted to say, if you did enjoy it, please like and subscribe. I'm probably going to release more content. Just kind of, I wanted to try out this new content, and I hope you guys are enjoying these Storytime videos. Let me know if you do. Leave a comment, leave a like. But anyways, hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and see ya.